Welcome, my name is Johanna Iba, and this is my process to follow in media specialist practice creating 3D animations. My objective is to create 3 projects with functional animations, fun to watch, and also good for my future portfolio. And taking a out from what we have been learning in KSP's individual research, my biggest reference for this project are the Animator Survival Kit, Acting for Animators, with some special advice from Steven Universe Art of Origins. I'm also constantly consulting my checklist tables, the animation one with the principles that all my projects should have, feedback notes provided by my professors in the workshops, and Yip synchronization checklists with all the major steps for a successful animation with dialogue. Starting with the walking cycle, I have decided to create an animation of a fat and drunk character. I want to experiment with a character that his emotions are under the influence of alcohol, and his balance also depends on not failing. In all my animations, I added goal rules, a step that I have to have in mind during all my process. For selection of ring, in this case I needed a ring with the stomach, I choose one from true CG artists and collaborators. My reference had been divided into two: YouTube videos with drunk men to study their movement, as you can see in my screen, also performance in science films, such as Charlie Chaplin 1 AM and Payday. I experiment with some thumbnails. For this, I divided the body into geometric shapes, trying to visualize each part of the body independently in the following order: head, torso, legs, arms, and hands details that need overlapping and drag. Here are a couple of initial examples. At this point, the process is divided into 5 phases. Initial animation of the body, animation and feedback checklist, overlapping, checklist again, and last polish. This doesn't mean I will not work with the checklist side by side during the whole process. On the contrary, but these specific points of the phrases I will sit down to see the playback in a sign sketch and take note of the points to improve. For the attack combo, I'm working on a sequence based off the part of the Kung Fu form Kaien Tom Bei Kwang. In the same way, I'm using a ring from True OCG artist, a monkey, especially for the Kung Fu team. When doing this, I have added the task of studying separately the movement of the tail, but since my combo are kicks and the tail is considered as a third arm in the Ramsas function which within the monkey biology, I plan for its animation to benefit the length of action, drag, and overlapping. The objects to hit will be 3 sacks falling from the sky. For thumbnails and storyboards, I will pay special attention to the videos that I have been recording with my partner, so I will be able to put in practice what I have been learning in exercise such as animating with reference. As an extra, I also have videos from Shaolin Yotus by Qin Yangjing. At this point, the process is very similar with the walk cycle, doing my animation and feedback check these phases. For the narrative, I'm planning to add more details, background, and a 4 sack falling from the sky that impacts on his head. This will only be made after I finish all the main animations. Finally, performance animation. The main idea is Doggy as a little naughty dog who has an existential crisis of being or not a good boy, a bit parodic of Hamlet, written by Brandon Shaw. First, I concentrate on creating a small scene that can be understood without dialogue. It is based off a granny eating a piece of empanadas cooled down for a few minutes. Our friend Douglas is attracted by the smell and decides to cling on a chair and try to grab one, having to get up since granny is coming back. Now, I raised that this scene is considerably younger than necessary, and knowing that I have other projects on top of it, I have decided to work first only in the middle, cutting directly from the moment of reintroduction of the chair until Douglas get off of the table. Like with the tank combo, I'm planning to add the rest of the pianing when I'm finished with the main animations. While recording the audio, I have used X's advice, create the thumbnails first and record while watching them. This facilitated to convey what kind of emotions was required in the voice. Finally, after following the process of animation and feedback checklist, each synchronization checklist is added combining the advice given in the workshop and the advice presented by Chris Welsby in the BFX Festival. I hope you're as excited as I am to continue with this project. Any questions or feedback is totally welcome. Thank you.